All right, my dears, let's talk about what's happening right here on the quilting bed. Marjie's very bright and cheery quilt. Love myself a bright and cheery quilt. Aren't these colors fantastic? And the variety of blocks that she has here, nicely done. Just love the combination. About 44 inches by 51, so a nice throw size. And let's talk about a couple things that are happening. She's got a very bright back that goes along with a lot of the with the border and the sashing on the front. Love that there's a repeat right there. Now, because the backing wasn't quite long enough for the quilt itself, she put a splice in the center right here. Now, let's talk about what's happening. One, I love that it is horizontal. It is running perpendicular, parallel to the selvages. Woohoo! That makes me super happy. Two, she pressed the seam open. That's great too. Don't have to do that, but I do like it that way. It's dispersing the bulk nicely across there. All of my stitching is going to hold this down really well. There's no issue with how that's going to be functioning. But let me show you. Because of the way she put this together, she also used many of the extra blocks that she had in the quilt itself. Let's see if we can turn some of this over. Maybe we'll put her on pause for just a second and show you what's going on the back of the backing of the quilt right here. Look at that. So she does have these extra blocks that she had left over, and she put them into the backing of the quilt. When you're doing that, nicely done. I love it so much. Make sure that you have excellent pressing, which you can see that she does right there, and make sure that your tension is fabulous. And if you can, run it not only horizontal, but in line, parallel with the selvages. That way, I only have to watch it as it's running up the quilt, which is exactly what's happening right now. Now, because she does have so much going on the backing of the quilt, what I want to do is try to balance the quilt itself with that backing fabric. You know that I can balance the quilt side to side quite well. We'll put this back on here and give her a chance to keep going on the quilt. I can balance side to side quite nicely as I'm running down the sides of the quilt, but I don't have a lot of control of what's going on with the back as it's rolling up this way. So what I've done is I've marked the center of that section that she's added, and then I marked the center of the quilt, and I did not start the quilt at the very top of the backing. What I did was I started the quilt so that it would fit about halfway down in conjunction with halfway of this spliced. So that's what I do over here at the Quilting Studio. If you have a backing that has some extra pieces to it, be sure to bring it to my attention so I can take a look at it, make sure it's running the way I want it to go. And then I'm going to do the best I can to balance the quilt top to bottom. Because it's a small quilt, not so much of an issue. But I've had many big quilts that I've had to do that with as well. So keep that in mind. Let's have a lot of fun. The design I'm putting on here is a wonderful stippling coral, and I'm doing it in my nice and bright a peachy color right there. Look at that. She's showing up beautifully. That's my glide fabric or thread. I love it. And I scale the size of the design to the size of the quilt. So I brought it down a little bit because the quilt itself is not so big. Questions, thoughts, put them in the comments. Let's start a conversation. Love your quilts so much. Have a beautiful quilty day.